Hello, and welcome to another edition of me talking about nostalgic stuff that I miss. Today, I want to talk about, there was this kind of phenomenon from like the early 80s to, I'd say, mid-2000s, where every time a movie came out, they made it into a video game. And I just thought that was super fun, and we really stopped doing that. I mean, I get it, like, can't imagine these games were making a lot of money past a certain point, but I want to talk about specifically horror movies that were turned into video games. So I'm going to talk about 5 horror movies turned video games that I think were super unique in some ways or just super cool, and let's go! So first on my list is the 1990 Nintendo Entertainment System Nightmare on Elm Street game. In the game, you play as a teenager, and the goal is to collect Freddy's bones, and then you put his bones in the furnace. When you finally get all of his bones in the furnace, you have a big boss battle with him. So in the meantime, you're just kind of fighting like random ghouls and ghosts and stuff. But this game was super cool, just the music and everything. Second on my list here is the 1989 Friday the 13th game. So in this one, you play as camp counselors, and you have to defeat Jason 3 times. It's cool that they did actually kind of remake this game, the Friday the 13th game that came out a couple years ago. Same concept, kind of. There's actually a part where you can fight Mrs. Voorhees. She's hiding in a cave. And then if you die, you get this message that says all of your friends are dead. And it's extremely hard to beat. Number 3 is a really cool one to me. The 1993 Super Nintendo Bram Stoker Dracula. They released this game for a couple different platforms, and it was like different, a little bit different for each platform. But in the Super Nintendo one, you play as Jonathan Harker, and Van Helsing helps you out by giving you weapons and like upgrades and stuff. And the goal is to defeat Dracula at the end. I just think this is a cool game. All right, number 4 is the 1988 Nintendo Godzilla Monster of Monsters. I know there's been a lot of Godzilla games, and this one's not necessarily like an exact movie tie-in, but this is like a whole story where it's placed in the future and Godzilla teams up with Mothra to defeat the aliens who invade Earth. Awesome story, right? You can play as Mothra or Godzilla, and it's another like standard NES platform game, but it's also cool because it's Godzilla. And number 5 is the 1987 Jaws game for the NES. So you control this boat, well, you're a person controlling the boat, and you encounter a bunch of sea creatures and all that fun stuff, and Bruce appears every now and again and he starts attacking the boat. But just a neat concept, not your standard platformer. I think that one's a really cool game. There's also been a couple other Jaws games, but this one's like a direct movie, like Jaws. Alright, so that was 5. I want to hear what your favorite movie, it doesn't have to be horror, I just chose to talk about horror, your favorite movie game versions of movies. Just comment them below and we'll talk about it. See you next time.